is Johnny.
Welcome to my world, bitch.
Hi, I'm Chucky, and I'm your friend to the end. Heidi-ho.
And when you're down here with me, you float down.
Like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
What up, horror fans? Welcome to a new edition. Welcome to a new episode of Friday the 14th podcast. I am one of your hosts, Juan, and I am joined by the fellas.
Hi, I'm Franco.
Hi, I'm Nick. Also known as a 4K bad guy.
And this is a new episode of Friday the 14th podcast. Guys, what's up? Hopefully everybody had a good day, good week. We are smack dab in the middle of spooky season. It's spooky season all year round for us guys here, but man, as far as weather-wise, TV-wise, season-wise, we're in the thick of things here as we're recording this live October 17th, 2024. If you're watching us live on Amos Swamp Productions YouTube channel, or you're listening to this wherever you listen to podcasts at. So, but guys, before we get into it, how was your week, Franco? Good week?
Good week. Today I was chilling. It got a little chilly today instead of this hot weather we are used to having, so it was nice. I'm just so mad that the month's already like half gone. It's gone by fast.
Man, you said it. We'll talk about some frustration with the months. But Nick, what about you? You have a good week?
It's good.
Good. Good little week. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Franco. I looked up and I'm like, man, there's so many horror movies I want to kind of get through before October ends. And I look up and it's like the 17th, and I'm like, geez. So yeah, definitely frustration on how fast this month is going for sure. But if you guys did not join us last week, we discussed and talked about Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Go back, like I said, listen to it wherever you listen to podcasts at. Just search up the Cinema Movie Podcast, and you can listen to this podcast auto version that way. Or if you like watching us and your podcast, you can always just search Amos Wall Productions YouTube channel, and we're right there every single Thursday night. Social media, you guys can hit us up on the social media as well. Instagram / Friday the 14th podcast. Social media also at Amos Wall Productions YouTube channel, Instagram. Just search Friday the 14th podcast. Send us in some messages or an email about some of the movies that are coming out that maybe you want us to hear us talk about, or anything that we've talked about in the past. Tell us how bad some of these movies are, or how good some of these movies are, or what we're talking about today. Tell us how gory some of them are. So they are pretty gory at times. Let's get into some recent watches, though. Nick, do you have anything that you want to recommend, or did you check anything out this past week?
Besides the movie we're reviewing today, caught pieces of Raw. What else did I? Just also revisited scary movies since y'all did on some movie podcast.
We did.
Hold up, I have beef with Juan. What? Two stars? Was that right?
For Scary Movie, man, yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm not a fan of parody movies at all.
Oh, okay.
And I witnessed it again with this one. I'm like, man, I love Scream so much. I hate when people make fun of it, and that's technically what Scary Movie does.
I think I watched Scary Movie before I even watched Scream. Scary Movie is the one I remember the most with Ghostface. That's the reason I got my Ghostface pop signed by Doofy.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, we had a whole discussion on why I hate them and stuff. But man, when I was growing up and when those came out, they were just coming out right one after another, like superhero movie. And
yeah. Hey, superhero movie was dope. As Drake Bell. Was it a 5-star classic? No, but it was still good.
So just a Scary Movie and Terrifier 3?
There's a couple other movies, but I'm trying to remember the name of this one movie. It reminded me of that movie Bedazzled. Came out in like 2015. Some kind of something Sunday. I don't remember, but it was on Tubi. It's pretty nice watch. But pretty much a dude running into death, and death happens to be a girl. I don't know.
You
Probably
did
doing
tell
too
me
much away of that way.
you did tell me you got to watch VHS Beyond.
Last week.
Yeah, you said you forgot to mention it.
Oh yeah. That kind of flew over my head. That was kind of a big release that I enjoyed.
Was it good?
I mean, I enjoyed it. This one mainly focused more on the sci-fi side of things. It was more alien heavy. I know one of the shorts was done by Justin Long and his brother. That was pretty cool. If you've seen the movie Tusk, think you might enjoy it. And then I think one of the normally it was done by the same person who did Thanksgiving, but it wasn't the same vibe as that one.
Thanksgiving.
Classic. Can't wait to review it again this year.
Next month.
I didn't check much out after last week. Franco going through his, watching his Terrifiers in order, kind of made me want to do the same thing before getting into 3. So I did check out Terrifier 1, 2, and All Hallows Eve. I obviously as well checked out Scary Movie. But that's it. That's pretty much it. I had a busy weekend last weekend. Got surprised with OU Texas tickets, so I made the quick trip to Dallas, and I went to Dallas and back. Watched the game, came all the way back literally after the game. So
damn, didn't even stop to hang out with us. What the hell?
Didn't even stop, man. It was
Dallas is just up the street from us.
What?
It's crazy.
Like 6 hours, right?
Yeah, that's up the street.
But yeah, it was hot. Saturday was like 96 degrees in Dallas, and I'm like, why? It's middle October.
Texas.
But yeah, had fun. Texas won. That's all that mattered. And then I went and saw Terrifier 3 on Sunday. So super, super busy weekend. This weekend looks to be just as busy. So Franco, what about you? You want to recommend anything? Did you get to watch anything?
I had a busy weekend. Terrifier 3, the movie we're reviewing today, saw it twice. Recommend watching that. I was editing today, last weekend show, so whenever they go up, Texas Wrestling Association will be on their YouTube channel. Recommend that one. It was a very damn good show. And then OSW, Old School Wrestling, on their YouTube channel as well when they go up. The main event of that one was Justin Taylor versus Stallion Rogers. Probably one of the best matches I've seen. One of the best I've recorded live. So check that out when it comes out. I saw Raw too, but I don't remember anything about it.
I'd say the biggest highlight of Raw was just Jimmy going over there, trying to get Jay to join the old bloodline.
I remember the Miz and R-Truth. R-Truth picking up a win. That was dope.
Because of what's their stable called? Carrying crosses.
The Fall, not the Fall. No, what the fuck?
Scarlet.
No, the stable name. I forget what it's called.
Everybody's forgotten what it's called.
It's because I like a cross. Yeah, I forgot what it's called.
They should have it's called the Forbidden Cross, right?
The Judgment Day.
I haven't seen any wrestling lately since.
Oh, actually, I saw NXT. Only one match though that I cared about. Ren Sinclair versus Stephanie Vaquer. That match was really good. Ren Sinclair is Maddie Rikowski when she wrestled here, but it was dope to see her in a be the first match against Stephanie. It was dope.
Nice. Other than that, if anybody else has anything they want to recommend or send in as a recent watch or recommendation, again, just hit us up on the social media. It's all right there. It's in the links. You can check them out on Check all the links out on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Emisawa Productions or Friday the 14th podcast. Other than that, guys, let's get it. Let's get into what we're talking about today. It is the blood and guts of today's episode, the meat and potatoes, I like to say, but we'll call them blood and guts for today. Today we are talking all about Terrifier.
3.
Terrifier 3. IMDb has this at a 7.1. Rotten Tomatoes at 74%. The Metascore is at 61%. And the Letterboxd is a 3.1 out of 5. With a budget of $2 million. Globally, this movie has grossed a little over $28.6 million at the box office. Number 1 at the box office this past weekend with an October 11th, 2024 release date. Art the Clown is set to unleash chaos on the unsuspecting residents of Miles County as they peacefully drift off to sleep on Christmas Eve. Starring Lauren Laveria, David Howard Thornton, Antonella Rose, Elliot Fullman, and directed and written by Damien Leone. You kind of already talked about it, Franco, but you saw this movie twice. What was it like the first time compared to the second time? Maybe getting ready for the podcast.
I enjoyed the first time watch. It was just new and everything, and then second time watch took my daughter, and I didn't like my movie theater experience. There was like people next to me, and I don't like when people are next to me. And, the people that were next to me were nothing to them, but there was like an older couple, and they weren't they didn't know what the fuck they were watching. Yeah,
nice. I have some kind of gripes too about the people around me, but I guess I can get to that. I watched it technically only once, and after the first time, I would just say, before we get into it, pleased. I'll say pleased. And I'll get into that theater gripe a little bit later. Nick, what about you?
I wanted to do a loud orgasm, but I couldn't because I only freak out the 2 girls a couple of seats down.
it would freak me out.
Yeah, I mean, I would say pleasured.
Pleasured. So yeah, let's get into it. The only theater gripe I had, I got to see this in the 21 and older seating area, which was good. But like, I don't know, man. I've been around crowds like Marvel and Star Wars, and you know, when they get super hyped and super pumped, they yell, they clap, right? Does that bother anybody?
Depends on the if it's like for a Marvel movie, not really. But it just depends on the movie.
What about if this was the movie? If Terrifier 3 was the movie?
So fuck yeah.
And that's exactly what she was doing. That's exactly what she was doing. Anytime she saw her favorite character, which was the clown, he was doing something gross or grotesque, she was just clapping and screaming and saying, all kinds of words that does they're a little too overrated now for my ears, but she was just completely hyped. And like, more power to her, I guess, but there was probably only 10 people in the theater and she was the only one doing it.
She had to fill out the whole room. Make it feel like a whole.
It made me want to do that scene in Scary Movie. But yeah, that was
ruining Big Mama's house.
That was my theater experience.
When I went the second time, I had bought 2 seats for me and my daughter, in between 2 seats of 2 sections of seats. So I go, sitting down. This older lady comes in with 3 other people, and she's saying your seats are over there on the other side of them. So it was like, I'm assuming her grandkid, I don't know, like he was a little older. He was like, I'm sure he was over 18 or at least 17. And then I'm assuming his girlfriend, and that was her and a friend. And they were like, they looked like they were 50, 60 years old. So like I just kept hearing her talk to her friend about different scenes, and it was just so annoying. And then like after there, I walked out. She's like, I didn't even see the full movie because I had my eyes closed the whole time. It's like you kept fucking talking the whole time too.
Yeah. I don't know. And it's crazy to think before we get into the movie that in today's day and age, you pay so much money for a ticket. I'm sure between the dollar amount of 11 to 18, $20 a pop for a ticket. And it's so crazy to think that we as moviegoers, we're in the wrong if we tell somebody to shh. Or they can turn around and twist it around so easily on us. Like we're rude for telling them to be quiet. I don't know if it's just, I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the wrong for telling them to be quiet, but I feel like if I'm spending that much money to see a movie, you kind of want some peace and quiet around you. It's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, usually the worst experiences are when just have kids at the wait top just laughing for no damn reason. I think we had that like twice. But I mean, there were movies that I saw just rewatching with one of my brothers. I was like,
Yeah. You tell them, Nick. That's what I want.
tell him from the way bottom.
You tell them.
Scram.
I got to say, I loved the whole Christmas theme around this movie.
Spoilers if you haven't seen it. Go.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Wasn't it in the poster or teaser?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's in the teaser, right?
No, I just mean like spoilers going forward. If you haven't seen the movie, get off and whatnot. I don't know
Oh
if
yeah,
It's all
I can't
thumbnail.
remember the spoiler.
This is Christmas?
it is Christmas. No,
If this is Art the Clown.
we're
His name's
17
Art?
minutes, 17 minutes, 30 seconds into the episode. So, like he said, spoilers from this point on. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Come back, or maybe this will listen to us, and this will get you to go see it.
You don't like art?
If you're depending, or if you're choosing. But yeah, I love the Christmas theme around this movie. The opening kill scenes where the daughter's like Santa's up on the roof, top notch. I thought it was super fun. What'd you guys think?
I was expecting the Grinch.
The Grinch? Yo, you got the Grinch all right. You got the Grinch.
He stole things too. But remember when they showed the teaser way back? That everybody, well, not everybody, but people that get mad about things, making a big deal about like, oh, Art's gonna, he's gonna, attack the little girl because they show her in the teaser.
Yeah, he did.
But man,
That was unfortunate.
it was like off screen, of course, with the other kid, boy. I was like, what?
I like the opening scene. Those a lot of off-screen deaths that I did not. I didn't like. I didn't like.
What do you mean off screen? Oh, yep, yeah. We'll get into that a little
There's
bit.
multiple.
Yeah,
so
I agree. We'll get into that later. That's something that kind of probably caused my rating to go down a little bit. But opening kill scenes were cool. Were you guys a fan of? Do you think they needed to show any of the child's deaths? I'm like, you kind of get what you needed to.
You were teasing it. Might as well go through with it.
Because you saw the little boy's head, right? It showed his head rolled over into the corner of the rug.
Yeah, but it was like the back of his head too.
Yeah.
So.
The body pieces all over his face.
It's like if you're teasing it, you might as well. They want to push the envelope with this movie. They've been teasing that, pushing the envelope with each movie. And I think they could have at least shown his death. But I mean, I don't know. I'm sure if I were seeing his death, I'd probably be like, well, that's too much.
It's like, it's all right, everybody. He's 21 years old in real life. He just looks like a kid.
I wonder. I'm pretty sure too. It's also to protect certain, like, hey, if you show this, what's above an NR-17? It's technically not rated. What then? You go maybe M for mature. Do they do M, or is that just video games?
R. I mean, I don't know. Weird. And
because this movie was rated NR. But maybe if they do show child deaths, maybe they do risk certain movie theaters or movie theater companies pulling out.
Yeah, I think this movie was already banned. Any kids were banned to see it. You had to be 18 or over or 17 over, and you can't even go with your parent. I forgot
And
what
what?
country. I think it was like Australia or something.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Probably. I heard in Russia you could go at starting at age 10, so that's cool. um, do you think that this movie pushed the envelope too far on anything? Me neither.
Nothing's too far.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that if you obviously if you know what it's about, feel free. And I think they should have went a little bit further too. After the opening Christmas scene, you kind of get him kind of like the story also with is it
And,
Vicky
yeah, Vicky.
that starts off. She's the only one besides Art, right? That's in all three movies.
Yes.
Which I thought was pretty cool. And I never knew that, but is this the first movie? And I just got done watching them, but just to clarify, this is the first movie where they've really announced what he is and what controls him, right? Like it's technically Vicky is the demon, and the demon controls Art, right?
Sorta.
Vicky has she has like the demon who sounds like the creature from Evil Dead inside of her.
I see it more as it's like he has his own personal manager. You want to go wrestling terms? Giving the assist. Like Art's not fully possessed by the demon, but yeah, so has that.
They shook hands.
Makes sense.
Before we go any further, I did want to go back to the opening scene. I don't know if there's like y'all have any favorite moments of that opening scene. My favorite moment was when he was washing his dishes because he is thoughtful of that.
I mean, in a day and age where we don't have time to do dishes, Art gets the nod. Like I acknowledge you for doing those dishes.
He's a hardworking clown.
Yeah. Yeah, and I do have to say, not just this one, but all three of them, the attention to detail in these movies are phenomenal. For them probably only having 28 days to shoot, $2 million budget, the attention to detail in these movies are fantastic. And there's probably going to be people tuning into this podcast or listening to the conversation that's like, I'll watch it when it hits like streaming just because everybody else, like this is a word of mouth movie, right? Everybody has to see it to see how gory it is. Like, don't watch it just because somebody's telling you to. Like, for real. Yes, this movie is like 3 times the gore and just blood, guts, disgusting. But honestly, I thought there was a lot more story to this than there probably should have been going into it. Because the first one kind of just like has that serial killer / like moment, and the second one the story really starts to develop, but this one it's like, man, they go back to back, they're together, and it's like, no, there's more to it than just a clown hacking up people.
I think a lot of people complained about it not having story and the plot just being meh. It's just about killing. So that's the reason they added more story to it, and now you have enough story where you can go into. They have another, part 4, and even maybe possibly part 5 if now happens in part 4.
And I wanted to get you guys' opinions because I wasn't on Terrifier 2 when you guys talked about it. But like, and yeah, you mentioned the story progresses, but the first one is the shortest. And I thought the first one was the hardest one to sit through and watch.
I think I enjoyed it more.
It was only like an hour and 20 minutes. I'm like, man, this thing is just not ending. So I was like not pleased with the first one. The second one was like 2 hours and 18 minutes.
Yeah, the second one was the hardest for me to sit through. But that's one I saw in theaters though.
Definitely got girthier.
And then this one I saw was a little bit shorter, so I'm like, definitely, probably easier to go through. But I don't think I minded the second one as much because it did have a little bit more attention to detail with the story. So, and then it was cool. It's always cool to see Chris Jericho on TV. So I'm like, hey.
Is it though?
No. Even Y2J couldn't save us. But going back to the third one, I like that you mentioned if we had a favorite part to that opening sequence. It wasn't shortly thereafter you go ahead and get reintroduced to Sienna, which I don't know about you guys, but it's the perfect time to go ahead and talk about who's hot.
It's definitely Arthur Clown.
Vicky.
David Howard Thornton.
We'll go with Frank only mentioned that one scene. You haven't mentioned that scene yet, but you picked Vicky. Who picked Vicky?
I said Vicky. No, but
you said Vicky because of that scene that Franco doesn't like, where she took him.
Yeah, I really did not like that scene.
What was she doing it to with? Was it a piece of glass, right?
Yeah, it was a shard glass.
Hey, it's a lot better than The Exorcist because she was using something I don't even want to talk about on The Exorcist.
It's the devil in me. I mean, we're in part 2. Now I think we're doing this segment back in that podcast. So I guess I'll just say Sienna was the hottest frat boy.
For this one,
for this one,
for this one was Clint.
Yeah,
Howard.
but I mean,
for the podcaster.
But for this one, I don't know. I think I would say the podcast, even though she was annoying, but she was definitely.
I'll go Sienna.
Not bad.
I got to talk about another character that kind of didn't do it for me, and that's the little girl who played Gabby.
Damn.
She was kind of annoying in this movie, and then I thought she was going to really get it because she opened up the diary and started reading the diary.
Nah, she's the new Jonathan now.
Can't replace Jonathan.
Yeah, Jonathan's the boy.
Became more tame this way.
He looks like Rick Moranis too.
I think he's a YouTuber. Or he was.
Of course he is.
I met him on my TikTok recently, and I was like, let me see what his old stuff. And he had posted one where when he first got, I guess, casted for the Terrifier 2. He was all excited and everything because he loves horror. I was like, oh, this is wholesome. I like this.
It's a wholesome American boy right there.
And he's like so excited to be in it. Like all of his stuff is like just about Terrifier, Art the Clown, horror stuff, music. I'm like, I like this kid. This kid's cool.
He is definitely one of my favorite characters in the 2 movies, including this one. I liked him a lot more in 3 than I did 2. What do you guys think when the brother and sister got together in the school, or was it the mall, and they started talking? What were they were planning something, right? Were they planning to harm the little girl? So they were trying to sacrifice her, right? Or who were they trying to sacrifice? Because they got together and they were talking.
Anybody.
They were talking all secretive, like they weren't supposed. Yeah, like they weren't supposed to be together.
Right, man. I don't know. Didn't she just go there, like, kind of forcefully? I mean, he didn't really ask her to go there. Like the whole thing was he was like kind of trying to stay away from her.
Yeah.
So you're batshit crazy, Sienna. But then she was coming up with a plan about getting the sword from the Terrifier amusement park. but
Yeah,
I don't
part
know
2
about
is still there.
sacrificing.
He said the little girl, but I think they're talking about the pale little girl, the demon or the devil, whatever. I don't know what it is, but
Vicky.
yeah, basically the one that transferred into Vicky. That
Mhm.
you got to kill her, pretty much. That's what they were talking about. But they didn't know it was Vicky yet. They said it was the pale little girl.
Oh,
And I think at the
okay,
end of
okay.
the conversation, they were
'Cause
like, "Oh, it might be Vicky because she disappeared as well that same night."
that's where I got confused because it had been a minute since I seen the second one. Remember, I watched this in like Star Wars, Star Wars like sequences. I watched 2, 1, 3, 1, 2. If that makes any sense. So yeah. Speaking of Art the Clown, let's talk about one of the scenes where he gets his Christmas costume. He goes into the bar on Christmas Eve and he sees that scene to me was just kind of eerie itself. Like you knew something bad was about to happen, but then I didn't think it was going to get to that extreme. Which okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Before that scene, he plays around with the liquid frozen nitrogen, right, with the rats, which it gets me. Those rats get me. So, uh, who for a quick second thought that they actually froze rats and smashed them? Me.
What was rats and rats?
I thought I was
No
for a
animals will
minute,
know.
for a
Like in the
quick,
movie.
yeah, in the movie for a quick minute, I'm like, you know, what if they actually did freeze rats and do this? It would have been a lot cheaper than actually creating fake rats and freezing them and killing them. So, but when he bashed that rat, I'm like, that looks pretty. That looks pretty good. That looks too good. So I don't know if that crossed any of y'all's minds, but in my mind, I feel like they hurt real rats and froze real rats.
That didn't cross my mind at all. What crossed my mind was, damn, y'all ain't gonna eat y'all's friend right there. Just gonna let him go waste. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. Maybe that's what gives it off. If they started eating it, I bet it was real. They didn't eat it, so the rats were like, "Oh, we're not eating this fake stuff."
Want the real meat.
Yeah, the real meat. Speaking of meat, this episode is brought to you by. No, I'm just messing with you. But yeah, so the frozen rat scene led into him playing with the liquid frozen nitrogen at the Christmas bar. Art sits on Santa Claus's lap. He's playing around with him, and then all of a sudden he just pees all over the Santa, and that's when stuff hits the fan right there. He kills what's his name, Smokey. Then he kills the bartender, and then Santa gets the worst one. Santa gets the frozen liquid nitrogen. I'm just like, dude, that looks like it sucks. That looked really good. Practical effects in this movie, and all three movies, A plus. Especially when I'm sitting there thinking that they tortured real rats. No, that's good. That's good special effects right there. So
I like that whole lot. It's funny how you went from Santa Claus to Jack Frost really quick. Is that a promotion or is that a demotion?
that's cool.
You
Or
put the
is it
carrot in his face, right?
oh yeah. Or is it a look to see what's coming soon? I really do. I don't know if it's because I love Christmas so much, but I do. I dug this entire scenery.
Got you in the spirit.
It did. Got me in the
By the
field.
way,
Is this
what
gonna
a
be
spirit.
a Christmas movie for you to sit down through?
I think it will be, especially if I get invited to anybody's house or if I have Christmas dinner at my house. By the time this hits physical media, Terrifier 3 is getting put on the TV. Christmas dinner.
4K.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
They're gonna walk in and it's straight to the scene with Vicky.
And I don't know. I've read a lot of the articles. It could be fake news articles, but people getting up 11 minutes into the movie and just like throwing up in the theaters or just getting up and walking out. I don't know about getting sick in the movie theater, But even then, if you're super queasy with blood, does this movie really?
Maybe
You
don't go
think?
watch a movie called Terrifier.
Yeah. But I don't know. It kind of baffled me. I'm like, really? People threw up?
What are you giving out those barf bags?
That's what the popcorn bucket is for.
Which popcorn? I didn't have the art one, but I got this one.
Wrong clown, boo. Get him out of here. Go sit down.
No, I mean, speaking of the popcorn, I mean, not that long ago I had pizza, so at the moment I think that kind of made me feel a little, but not even the visual
I was gonna ask
ignited
you
the
guys
barf.
I was gonna ask you, did you guys eat before or during the movie?
And Nick was over here. I was just like looking at him his way, and he was just over here freaking popping popcorn in his mouth during what scene was it? I want to say during the shower scene. I could be wrong though. But it was like a very terrible scene.
Oh, that wasn't popcorn he was popping.
Just over here.
Is this 4D? Imagine they go around, they actually make a 4D experience for the next one.
4D, he's gonna be chasing you. That ain't nobody dressed as Art the Clown. That's actually Art the Clown in the theater.
It's raining blood. Speaking of the shower scene, what's next? The shower scene or is it the mall scene?
The mall scene.
That, my friends, is a good scene. Not only where she's like fantasizing that she sees Art the Clown, which maybe at that point it's not fantasy, he's actually there. And then he actually goes to where Santa sits, and which is smart if you think about it, he's pulling all these gifts and nice free toys out of his bag and lures all these kids to him.
All these gifts as well, I just want to point out, is from the little girl's room in the opening scene. So if you're stealing gifts. And also it's like all the parents were like, he's over here covered in blood, stained, and all the parents were just on their phone, chilling, scrolling, not even paying attention to their kid.
Yeah, the only ones to notice were actually the workers.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's like, oh, yeah, he's freaking me out.
That's not our Santa.
But I do want to know, Mills County, is this based on like a real place like in America, or is it just like a made up? Do you guys know? Am I being too?
I feel like it's just made up, but I mean,
it's right next to Woodsboro.
There technically is 2 Mills County. There's one in Texas and one in Iowa.
It's definitely Texas. Crazy shit happens there.
Because I think the director, Damien Leone, is he not? I was watching some of the special features on the first 2 movies. Super, super heavy, thick Brooklyn accents. So I didn't know if they wanted this to be like a Northeast movie.
There's a John Miles County Park in Wisconsin.
This could definitely be Wisconsin.
Miles Township in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so he's definitely a Staten Island, New York guy. So, yeah. Anyway, I like the fact, like you said, all the toys were from the little girl's room. Again, attention to detail. This movie does really, really good at it. So, for everybody out there saying there's no plot, there's no story, BS.
I don't think there's no throwaway scenes. Like,
yeah.
Besides her with the shard, there's no throwaway scenes.
Well, that was very necessary. I need to be there.
Oh well, it wasn't. It was part of the plot.
I mean, I can imagine
that was Nick's favorite scene.
I mean, that's typically what you would expect from demon behavior.
I mean, it's not a demon. It's the devil, Satan. It's technically what it is.
Nick is right, man. Look at you. You have your thinking cap on today, boy. That's right.
Let me take it off.
No, that's right. I was going to agree with Franco. I was going to be like, yeah, it's a throwaway scene. It's gross. It's nasty. It doesn't need to be in there. But you mentioned that. I mentioned The Exorcist earlier, and it's like, all right, man. Touche, Nick.
Pushes the envelope.
Yeah,
That's what the people want.
exactly.
What people want. Give people.
She was doing the old radio disc jockey with a piece of glass.
And then Art's like, all.
As he should.
I mean, speaking of that scene, since you reviewed Scare Movie, John, what's his name? John Abrams. He has a scene that he's one of the guy who checks up on Art on the chair.
He's the one dying while she's doing that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, Bobby's on here.
That's funny. I didn't realize that either until then. That's
Well, it's because he got a little bit heavier, I think. I was like,
got a
it's
lot.
definitely his face.
So the clown, the mall, what if the little boy opens up, like tries to open up a package, and the package just goes boom?
I want to point out that that kid was fucking annoying. That kid deserved it. Like, it's the one little girl over here getting a gift from Santa, and this motherfucker's like halfway in the middle of the line. Look, Santa's handing out gifts. Like, no, Santa's handing out one gift to her, and all the kids swarms. That kid deserved it.
Franco's also the guy who wanted the kids to get eaten in Jurassic Park. Yeah, they deserve it.
Hey man, if they deserve it, they deserve it. Little shits.
But I like how they still have like the news in the background. Like, this is a serial killer who's still on the loose, so it still shows and feels like there's some realism to it, and it's not just like a clown controlled by like the devil or the demon. Because I don't know about you guys, but when they started flirting around with that, I was like, man, I kind of enjoyed it a little bit more if he was just known as like a serial killer. What do you guys think? This movie slowly transitioned him from a serial killer over into the, Vicky being possessed and then him being controlled. What way do you like it?
On TikTok, there's a whole bunch of people talking about the movie already and different conspiracy theories or different takes on it. One was saying that he was a serial killer in the first Terrifier, and then he shoots himself in the head. And then basically, leading up to part 2, the Pale Girl is Satan and brings him back to life, whatever. And now he's technically a demon, I guess. So he was technically a serial killer, but now he is a demon, so he can't die. Unless, I guess, Satan dies or whatever happens with that.
Nice. I'm glad you broke that down because that makes total sense now. Do you guys? What about you, Nick? Do you guys have? Do you like the way it's going, or is it like, which way do you prefer if you have to pick?
It's really trying to think of just regular normal killers. I mean, Leatherface is a normal person. Mike Myers started off as a regular person, and they try to lean more supernatural.
Boogeyman.
The thing is, if you watch like All Hallows Eve, I think Art is more on the supernatural side of things. So when you see it on Terrifier, it's like,
That's true too. That's another movie that kind of confused me.
Man, go either way, honestly. But I think if you go regular human, of course, I'm like, oh, just cut his head off. I don't know. I get tired of that when people like non-horror fans want to just go for the head. So it makes kind of things more interesting whenever you do a supernatural take on it or whatever. Make them a little bit more unstoppable. Especially if you're a fan of the icon itself.
My answer is like, I kind of agree with both of you guys. Like, I enjoyed how it started off, and then maybe the sense was this could get a little bit dull, so let's add this and see if it works. And not only did they add it, but yeah, it worked. At least for me, I thought the third movie was just kind of phenomenal story wise all the way around. To me, it was a lot better than the other two.
I think a great example of character like to compare it with to be like Jason. Really, Jason started like kind of a regular slasher or human, whatever. Then he just slowly got zombified. I think that's like the thing people love about Jason. Or they try to put fantasy fights with him and Michael Myers. Like, oh, the Jason's overpowered.
What'd you guys think of the was it the asylum kill, where it kind of picked up off the second ending with the orderly Chris Jericho, that scene? They took the ending of the second one and kind of placed it in the middle of the third one. Did you guys like that reenacting? Kind of seeing where that picked up off, or would you rather have the third one literally start off like that?
I like it. It wasn't the opening scene was the Christmas scene, and I think after that it goes into she comes out whatever, and then I think it goes into that scene.
Mhm.
It's like 5 years back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have Tiff has beef with the 5-year part though. I'll take that later, but I like that they brought in Jericho just to kill him, give him a thing. He was saying in an interview that he wasn't even supposed to be brought back. It was supposed to be all that whole thing was supposed to be in the ending of the second Terrifier, but Malignant, the ending of Malignant was supposed to be the ending of this one, but they had to change it because of Malignant, which was like I think the Art the Clowns was supposed to be in the back of Vicky's head. And so they had to change it because of that. So Jericho had to be brought back for Terrifier 3. So, yeah. People in the comments are saying that Jericho made Terrifier 3 pop off, because he was in Terrifier 2, but stupid.
Made what pop off?
That he's the reason for the popularity, because the wrestler was in it, even though it was in it for 3 minutes at the end of Terrifier 2.
Again, man. He
Chris
got the
Jericho-
I'm saying he got the
The
what was it?
people in the comments were saying that.
Some of his other movies, I think, what was he in? It's a Clark Street, I think, or no, not Clark Street. Jay and Silent Bob, the reboot. I think he had a little scene in that. Yeah, he definitely made that movie a lot bigger.
Chris Jericho hasn't been relevant since like 2017.
But going to your question or whatever, I think it was like a cool little come back to where the last one left off.
Yeah, I like that they do that. This just makes it like the fact that we went back and binged it before we watched the movie makes it like feel good.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Halloween 4 and 5.
That's true,
transition.
but I almost kind of think, or I feel that the opening was so good, going back to the ending of part 2 kind of just makes no sense. I would almost throw that scene away just because of how great the opening scene was. Like that scene in particular gets you so pumped for Terrifier 3 that I kind of don't care how the second one ends. Because true fans are going to watch second part 2 before the third one anyway, like you say. But I don't know. I just think that's how great the opening scene was, that anything that followed probably just got overshadowed anyway.
I feel like they could have opened it with it and had this scene like actually go in chronological order. But
that probably would have been cool. Nick's favorite scene, the shower scene. I think throughout the entire movie, everybody is just so ready for the podcaster and her boyfriend to get it that when it does happen, you don't mind it being completely.
I had a gripe with the podcaster. The boyfriend, on the other hand, he didn't seem like that bad of a guy. He was like, trying to help Jonathan out. So it was just the podcaster, the chick.
But hey, if she tells you to jump, you're gonna say how high. Let's be honest.
As soon as she strokes my beard, it's all over.
What? Whoa! This is called Friday the 14th podcast, not something else. I don't know what you're talking about over there.
You know what I'm talking about. Wink, wink.
Overall, what did you guys think of that scene, and what was like maybe like your favorite, like Franco said at the beginning? I'll use that. What was your favorite like piece of that kill scene?
Definitely the chainsaw going up his ass.
Mm. It was like a callback to the first film,
It was
split right in the middle.
new take on it.
Oh man,
I like the homage to Psycho. He did a whole bunch of homages, tributes, whatever you want to call it, to different horror movies. Like we didn't talk about the Shining at the beginning, so I like this the nod to Psycho.
And then every time I feel like he's in his little workshop getting his tools moved around, and the way the camera shows his hands, it almost feels like the opening scene of Nightmare on Elm Street. So I just yeah, I agree. Every single thing that they threw in there for that, it was phenomenal. So the shower scene though, man, his death was probably a little bit more brutal, but yeah, the way she got it was pretty cruel too.
Oh, I cringed whenever he was just on his leg and then he fell on his knee.
Mm.
He just fell on it. I cringed both times watching it.
So after the shower scene, it pretty much sets up for your ending, which is Sienna pretty much is up in the bedroom, and the dad goes to get Jonathan. Gabby is also up in the room, and the mom, Jessica, is the one who pretty much by this point, she's the only true death that you see after the movie or after this scene. So she gets the last death. Excuse me. And I'll say it's probably my favorite, but most brutal. To me, it's brutal just because, and that, honestly, that looked like some cartel shit. Like Art the Clown is, yeah, maybe this movie was filmed in Texas, right? But Art, yeah, that scene definitely got me. Franco, you said you had some nitpicks with the ending. I think we're going to talk about it because it might be the same ones I did. Me personally, I really did not like the ending when it came to Jonathan's death. One of the main characters didn't see it, and then the dad's death, which everybody kind of knew it was coming from the way he got introduced, didn't see his death either. Pretty brutal way the dad got hung up, right? That was the dad that got hung.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal. So I can kind of see why. But even then, at the end, it's like, don't need it. Well, I need it. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of needed it. Like the dad didn't get it.
I mean, he was a throwaway character.
I mean, true, a
But
throwaway
wasn't he like?
character.
Was he like an uncle by marriage? It seemed like the aunt was more of a related.
Yeah, it was their sisters.
But I mean, if you say he's a throwaway character, then half the people Art kills in these movies are throwaway characters.
They're all throwaway characters. I mean, I like that.
Khan's a throwaway character.
They fuck out of here. No, he's not. I like the idea like no one's safe, even though Sienna is at this point is so safe character. But I still think. I mean, yeah, Jonathan's just tease. There's no way you're gonna kill off a character off screen.
You think he's being held captive somewhere?
They're just trying to get Sienna to break. I was like, yeah, your uncle definitely died. Your aunt's obviously right in front of your face, getting the rat down the throat. Brutal.
I was so annoyed whenever the Gabby, right, the daughter. Whenever she was right there by her mom, staying right there, and like, Mom, wake up.
Are you okay? It reminded me of the
I was like,
The scene from Scary Movie 3. Are you okay? Are you okay? What?
she's
Her head falls
obviously
off.
dead.
Like there's literally a rat coming out of her throat, and the daughter's like, "Mom, make me some cereal."
Some Rice Krispies. Want to try some Rice Krispies?
But
Uh,
yeah, if Jonathan did die, I am pissed off. He deserved, badass death scene. Not an off screen, but I do think he's being held somewhere as well. Though they have to have him somewhere. That's where he was going to when he was on the bus at the ending.
So, but the dad was supposed to pick him up, right? So you're saying maybe the dad didn't make it to pick him up?
No, I'm saying that Art captured him and is holding him captive somewhere. But then he uses his phone because he had the translator as well, or his voice. He heard his voice on the phone. So I think he used it to lure in the dad and kill the dad. I'm sure the dad's dead, but it's just
Yeah, so if that is the case, and Jonathan's being held, which is probably the truth, then I guess that's fine. But if he is, if they did kill off that character, like, man, tell us, show us.
he deserves justice.
The mom's death we thought was pretty cruel, or at least I thought, with the rats. The ending, though, what do you guys make of the ending? To me, maybe I'm kind of nitpicking a little bit more, but like Art her hands were like completely messed up. She still has the strength to grab onto this sword, and she got the sword that she needed to. I don't know. I want to say I liked the ending, but again, something to me was like it didn't feel like it was maybe that fulfilled. But again, it does cut off leading in that this could be going into a fourth movie.
Yeah, this is Fast and Furious 10.
I mean, before
Fast and Furious 10 Part 2.
Before even watching the damn movie, they're like, Terrifier 4 has already been greenlit.
Before they even got how much they grossed in.
Yeah. So I guess they really didn't care. They left a little cliffhanger there.
Which wasn't terrible. I mean, it's not that big of a cliffhanger to where it makes the movie different, but it definitely does make you kind of like, okay, what's next? Sienna did what she had to do. The demon is technically dead, right? She used the sword that she needed to, that was blessed, right? And cut the demon out of the body of Jessica, or Jessica.
I think the demon can possess another body.
Yeah, you just go to the body to body. I mean,
you just gotta kill. I think you just gotta kill Art the Clown. You can only kill Art the Clown whenever the demon's not, I guess, nearby him.
Right.
So like right now would be perfect time. But
so he escaped. He got out the window. Do you guys think the demon went to him, or is the demon just kind of floating midair, waiting for the next victim?
probably just waiting because I mean, technically the only ones in the house were already dead that they could have possessed.
But it could have possessed Gabby.
I don't think it could have. Well, yeah, Gabby got. I think you have to possess someone that's already dead. Is what it was.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
so Gabby's off. She's off the hook, right?
I think so. They go to have her captive. That's probably what the next one's gonna be. That's gonna be in hell.
Inferno. Surprised they didn't reuse the little girl. I think technically she'll supposed to be the Art's first victim.
No, the little girl from the second one.
Yeah, that was the body the demon took over.
I mean, if
it's dead,
they had the little girl, they couldn't use the scene with Vicky. So
maybe it's powerful enough to just like multiple.
Oh,
because it called to Chucky that shit all sick. Ew.
Chucky.
I guess the within that whole moments of the final showdown, whatever. Whenever Sienna just held to the chair, how Art kept going back and forth, slapping Sienna in the back of the head. It used to be
Wacha.
favorite scene.
You guys have a favorite scene, and not only will we name a favorite scene, but if you have a favorite kill, we can name that too. Whoever wants to go first, I can go first if you want.
I gotta think about it.
If I had to name a favorite scene, it would probably be the opening Christmas scene, and then maybe the bar scene. But my favorite death is going to be the mom, the rats with the big long glass tube, freaky stuff. So
My favorite scene will probably be what we didn't talk about. The beginnings when he's on the subway station. Both interactions he had with the first one was the homeless lady looking lady, and he has the officer's head on him, his body, like that one. And then and the other subway scene as well, where he meets someone dressed up as him for Halloween. I like those two scenes.
That's a pretty cool scene.
Favorite kill. I started to think about favorite kill because there's a lot of them.
Definitely a lot. Definitely is the Santa Claus scene. I like that kill, and just how gross the rat wound threat scene with the mom. I like the shower scene, but the thing is, I kind of you really see something like that from the first one. Also, I still enjoyed the scene from part 2, the bedroom scene with the girl.
Oh, that's a brutal scene.
They still haven't really topped that scene.
That's true. This one definitely was. Don't get me wrong. This one was a little gross and grotesque. But did it feel? I felt the same thing, Nick. Did it feel like, since they knew this one might be a little bit more mainstream, do you guys feel like they held back on some stuff?
Probably just the kids' desk, just what you had pointed out about the ratings and everything.
So,
favorite kill, I'll just say Jericho, just because of the way they just peel off his face and shit.
Peeled back the face like AEW peeled back his career. No.
Just throwing over scene. It wasn't really anything much going on, but was it a subway or just a regular bus? It was like towards the end of the movie.
Oh, it was a bus.
Where Art really doesn't do anything. He just kind of just stares and his eyes like all not like regular.
Yeah, it's the enemy.
I just like that the visually how it looked. I think he looked the most menacing in that moment.
That's true. He reaches down in his bag of tricks and pulls out the demon. He had the demon with him the whole time, like in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. He pulls it out. Speaking of other clowns, is Art the Clown you guys' favorite movie clown? Looking into this this franchise now, going into the third, possible fourth movie next year, the year after.
Are you asking if he should replace Pennywise as a horror icon? I think so.
Yeah, I don't. Me personally, I don't even think Pennywise could be suitable as a horror icon. He's already got more movies than Pennywise, so I don't think it really, not to hurt anybody's feelings out there, but I think at this point, yeah, I think you got to put him up there with maybe like I think he's definitely got to go into your top 5 as far as horror icons now. 3 movies, technically 4, and the last 3 are really liked on Rotten Tomatoes. You know, all the reviews are perfect for him almost. So I don't know. I think it's a different age of a horror character, horror icon. It's one that not everybody's going to go see because of, you know, the backlash and what you hear and what you don't hear. So he's definitely got a harder time. But I think Art the Clown
What's up, Daniel?
is, I think Art the Clown has definitely got to be put up there in the top 5. Maybe not Mount Rushmore just yet, but he's definitely being molded over off to the side. So, you guys agree to disagree? Nick, I'm just kidding about the Pennywise thing, though. You look like you're upset.
Pennywise. No, Tim Curry is like my favorite Pennywise adaptation, so I'm pretty sure you're referring more towards Skarsgård.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole different type of clown. He's more supernatural than art slash straight up slasher. I mean, it's kind of more biased since I'm heavy on slashers, so
heavy.
Heavy whip.
Still doesn't take my throne from those little clowns from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. But let's get into rating. Trejos, how many machetes does Terrifier 3 get? Franco, your pick. We'll start with you.
Love the content. Terrifier's top tier, definitely. It is. I'm gonna give it a 4. I think solid 4.
I liked this one a lot more than the other 2, and the other 2 got two and a halves from me. So I'm going to give this one a 3.5 out of 5. I like that this one had a lot more story arc to it. The character development was really fun. The gore was insane. Not only was it insane, but it looked really, really great. The score was still just as good as the first 2. The kills mattered. They weren't just throwaways. And attention to detail. If that's anything that I can pull out to this movie, it's the attention to detail was phenomenal. So go check it out. 3.5 for me. Nick?
I can't remember the other ratings for the other movies I did. I'll put it at a 4. They probably gonna do it in the next movie. Kind of give more story actually on the dad, because what's he on his dad? They just kind of, it was more of a retelling of what you already know in the second way. Like you get to visually see him in this movie, but you don't really learn more, or like why he's drawing these characters, or what's his tie-in with art. But I mean, yeah, you can do it in part 4. I don't know if there was, besides that, I mean, I think they did amp up the kills more in this movie than the last movie. So I think that kind of made the movie pass by quicker for me in this one.
Yeah. This one to me was a lot more better than the other ones. I enjoyed it a lot. So Leatherface. We've talked quite a bit of Leatherface on this podcast, right? I know we did the original. We did
the remake.
We did the Netflix one with me, you, and
Netflix one.
Fuentes, which was horrible, by the way.
Next Generation.
Oh yeah, Next Generation. I just think that means There should be another one on discussion soon. But yeah. Fun ratings, guys. Great conversation with Terrifier 3. Next up, though, Nick's pick.
Magic Mike?
Magic Mike. XXL. No, I'm just messing with you. That's a horror movie in its own right in a whole nother way. But next up is Magic. That comes to you next Thursday, October 24th. Go check it out. I believe it's on Peacock and Tubi. So go check it out if you guys want to follow along, play along. That's what we're going to be watching and reviewing next week on another new episode of Friday the 14th podcast. Next Thursday, October 24th, 8 p.m. And then, should be fun. Until then, guys, you have anything else you want to mention about Terrifier 3, or what are you guys doing this weekend?
The fuck I got this weekend? I have three shows this weekend. 4 shows. I'll be at United tomorrow in San Antonio at the Yard. I forgot who's wrestling there, but they'll be wrestling.
They'll be wrestling
back of the Yard. It's always fun. RCW Hall of Fame or honor ceremony on Saturday in San Antonio as well. We're back home for GCWA to record for a title match, and then Sunday is RCW in San Antonio again. So, got San Antonio, Corpus, San Antonio this weekend. Some good old weekend of wrestling.
Nick, anybody gonna go check out Smile 2?
Possibly, maybe.
I checked that out this weekend. Smile 2 comes out. Idle Hands will be what I'll be talking about next week on Tuesday on a new episode of the Cinema Movie Podcast. So I'll be checking out Idle Hands. But again, more football this weekend. Other than that, guys, Nick, you doing anything else?
No, I mean, not really. Not a whole lot of action. But definitely looking forward to next week with Michael Cera. It leans more to a thriller side of things, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be laughing the whole damn time because it's Michael Cera. Just met his little soft voice.
Should be fun. Michael Cera, horror movie vibes, psychological thriller vibes. If that's it, I think that'll do it. We'll catch everybody next week for a brand new episode of Friday the 14th podcast.
Stay ultra.
Peace, love, tacos.